They're trying to push forced inoculations. This is clearly their attempt to set the precedent to get in our space and put their hands on our body. And Ron Paul told me an hour and a half ago that they've grabbed his genitals.
I did not know that. And Ron was on with me last night. Ron made an argument which was purely Jeffersonian in its brilliance and its simplicity.
Well, tell us about that when we come back, Judge. I want to hear that, but I want to go further. I want to ask you as a judge, as a constitutional scholar, not just the Fourth Amendment. Am I wrong in saying this violates 9th and 10th? We've got a federal power grab that, you know, even sworn peace officers of the state can't stick their hands down your pants without an emergency or a warrant. I mean, how are they doing this? We'll be right back with Judge Andrew Napolitano, JudgeNap.com. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com.
Hello. Alex Jones has told you about the delicious, safe, easy-to-fix, and very storable food from eFoods Direct. He's also told you that eFoods Direct has the best food on the planet. Well, here's the great news. It's that time of year, and their holiday special is here. 2 holiday-priced packs for you to put into your reserve for a secure future or share with others. The first is a 6-month bulk supply in number 10 cans, and the second is a 5-week supply of quick and easy meals, including delicious bakery items shipped in heavy-duty totes. Both are special values for the holidays. When you order 2 or more of these special holiday packs, you'll get free shipping on the entire order. These holiday packs are always special combinations of food that are not available at any other time of the year. Call 800-409-5633 on the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex. That's 800-409-5633 on the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Diamond Gusset is proud to announce the anthem of the Patriot Movement. They're offering a free CD, T-shirt, and bumper sticker with a qualifying purchase. Diamond Gusset offers great products at great prices while keeping Americans working.
I'm looking for a factory where a man can feed his family. Not worried about them moving it south, closing the doors and shutting her down tomorrow. I'm looking for America.
We're American and be proud. Go to gusset.com/America.
The land of the free and the home of the brave. Seems like I just woke up one day and it was gone, long gone. But I know in my heart it's still
Again, go to gusset.com/America today. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Judge Andrew Napolitano. This show's now moved from Fox Business Weekends, number 1, to Fox Business Weeknights. You can find out more on his website. He's going to have Jerome Corsi on tonight. We'll find out what's coming up on his show tonight. I love seeing Fox promote somebody like Napolitano because he tells the truth. He's a constitutionalist. He was against Bush when he was pushing tyranny. He's against Obama when he's pushing tyranny. He talks about the New World Order. If you just joined us, we were discussing the TSA in the last segment. You were getting into Ron Paul, who you interviewed last night, and his Jeffersonian argument against the TSA. Go ahead.
Well, Ron Paul made the same argument that Jefferson did, which is interestingly the same argument that the now iconic, heroic young man from San Diego made at the San Diego airport 2 weeks ago when he said, "Don't touch my junk," referring to his private parts. If I can't do it to you, then I can't give the government the power to do it to you. If you take a swing at me, I can take a swing back. But I can't invite you onto my property and presume the right to touch your private parts as a condition of your coming onto the property. Stated differently, the only powers the government has are the powers we give it. And the only powers we give it are the powers that we have to give it. We don't have the power to touch someone else in their private parts against their will, no matter what they're doing. It's a sexual assault, whether it's done by the gardener, by a school teacher, by a member of the clergy, or by somebody wearing a government uniform. Congressman Paul not only articulated that so nicely on my show, he introduced a piece of legislation that's 10 lines long, which would stop this in a heartbeat, but it will never see the light of day. Why do you think Speaker-designate John Boehner, who flies commercial from Cincinnati to Washington several days a week, was permitted to walk around the scanners and around the gropers? Is it because they recognize him? Well, of course they recognize him. It's because they want him on their side. You grope a member of Congress, he's going to vote against this. You let him walk around the gropers, he's going to say, "Oh, go ahead, keep us safe."
So this is true discrimination at its heart. But what about my point that this violates the 9th and 10th Amendment? I guess that goes to the Jeffersonian point.
The 10th Amendment says that the powers not given to the federal government are retained by the states and the people. And we never gave, the Constitution nowhere gave the federal government the power to keep us safe. That is the obligation of individuals and of the states. And the 9th Amendment says, just because we have enumerated certain rights in this Constitution, it doesn't mean that there are other natural rights that the people don't have. Stated differently, your right to bodily integrity, you have it whether it's mentioned in the Constitution or not. It's a natural right.
So, Judge, what is this attempt then? What do you think's behind this? They know brazenly ordering them to put their hands down the pants now and to record naked images of our body, which they've been caught doing. They know this is 180 degrees polar opposite of a liberty culture. It's a tyranny culture. So is this the Fuhrer precept that Bush tried, where they said, well, it's not illegal when the president does it. You know, torture's illegal, but it's not illegal if the president orders it. Is this just more of this control freak religion of pushing it to the limit?
It's more of the control freak progressive with an uppercase P religion that the government can do whatever it wants. Look, this morning there were two polls, very dismaying. One said 2/3 of the American public doesn't object to the porn or the grope. Well, most of the public doesn't fly every day, and they haven't exposed to this. But the more terrifying one is that 53% of Americans think the government is operating outside the Constitution and aren't doing anything about it. If the government is operating outside the Constitution, it's time to change the government. I mean, that's about as reckless a thing as you can be. The Constitution equals the rule of law. If the government is not obeying the rule of law, how can it impose laws upon us? The problem with the Boehner exception to the TSA, should they make an exception for Madonna or Derek Jeter or somebody else that's well known, is that these bureaucrats are making up rules on the spot and then making exceptions to the rules on the spot. That is a power that is not theirs to have. Only the Congress can make law, and it can only do it after a legitimate debate and a vote by the people's representatives.
So it's judge, jury, and executioner. I think the establishment's going to lose this fight. I mean, I really see this becoming a focal point of people's anger in general.
You know, I agree with you, Alex, and I've seen some people that I'm surprised to see on our side. Former Senator Rick Santorum, who almost always sided with big government, sounded like Alex Jones this morning. Peter King, Republican congressman from Long Island, who always sides with security, said the TSA has become the enemy of the American people. Congressman John Mica, who wrote the TSA legislation, says we have to change this immediately. I think this is starting to sink in across the board. It knows no ideological, no ethnic, no gender line. I think the American public is saying enough is enough. But one person isn't listening, and he could stop this with a phone call. And that's the president who wants to induce us to conform to his way of behaving and thinking, just like his predecessor.
That's Barack H. Obama, and they do want to back off now because they understand if they continue the fight, it's only going to have the American people come together, and that's what they're threatened by. Speaking of Ron Paul, Judge, I had him on during the first hour, and I went over the Washington Post headline where they talk about using a war to fix the economy, the David Broder article. I went over the Rand Corporation 2 years ago, our article at prisonplanet.com, talking about how they need a larger war so that the dollar stays strong and so that countries basically go along with the formation of this corporate world government. And Ron Paul agreed with me. He said that certainly we have to look at the military-industrial complex staging this provocation. Not that North Korea is good. They're probably the most evil country on earth, this hereditary dictatorship. But going into their waters, engaging in a naval exercise, firing artillery near their shore, when the North had warned them, that's clearly a provocation. What's your take on this?
My take on it is that all presidents love war, except if Ron Paul became president, because they know that war is the health of the state. The people will pay more taxes, give up their liberty, and unite behind the soldiers no matter what the outcome. They falsely believe that war will help the economy. It's beyond me how taxing people to purchase equipment and then destroying the equipment helps the economy. But this is a myth that has been perpetrated since Woodrow Wilson, reinforced by FDR, used by George W. Bush, and we're about to see if Barack Obama can use it. Fortunately, this is not in our backyard. It is 10,000 miles away, and there are voices in both parties on both sides of the aisle are saying, no, we're not going to do this again. Ron Paul is leading the charge.
All right, Judge, I've got a few other final questions for you, and then tell us about what's coming up tonight on the TV show. Glenn Beck, who I've been critical of on many fronts because he's flip-flopped over the years. You haven't. That's why I support you and your libertarian views. We're very close to each other.
Right.
But I'm not trying to attack Glenn. He's given you a big platform to really tell the truth. But 2 weeks ago, as you know, he came out, he read the quotes by Obama and Clinton officials saying how great a terror attack would be, how it would help them. He read the newsletters where they're demonizing Glenn and myself, saying we're going to cause an Oklahoma City attack. And he went ahead and said, these people, this is a quote, are planning another Oklahoma City to be blamed on the Liberty Movement. That's a big, bold shift for Glenn Beck. What's your take on him coming out and talking about false flag terror?
Well, I'm a close friend of Glenn's. Obviously, I don't have any control over what he says on his show, but I appear with him a lot. I fill in for him on television when he's not here, and I share a lot of his views. I don't know anything about what he just said, but I do believe that this government would welcome the type of conflagration that we have seen in the past if it would help it become more authoritarian, particularly now with the loss of the House and with a filibuster positive number that the Republicans have, and I carry no water for them, as you know,
yes,
in the Senate. The president is going to have to rule by decree, and the easiest way for him to rule by decree is to accompany his decree with fear, and the easiest way to get that fear is to look the other way if somebody assaults us.
Okay, finally, man, because I never raised this with you because, it's a subject I just leave alone with folks because I don't want to cause people problems, but you brought it up with Geraldo Rivera, who says he is concerned about Building 7. And I want to put the question